These are the top crypto stories of the day. We have a Bitcoin ETF launching in Hong Kong. What is that going to do to Bitcoin's price? Also, rare sats are going to potentially be on sale when the Bitcoin halving happens this week. And then last but not least, we got 6 altcoins that have outperformed Bitcoin in 2024. What does the rest of the year look like? Let's go around the blockchain. All right, let's get right into the show because we got 3 phenomenal guests, and I don't want to waste your time or theirs. So we're going to go ahead and start with Piano Matty B in the green square, patiently waiting as we talk about things we have no business talking about before the show. Piano Matty B, how are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. Just up here behind the maple curtain, enjoying every day like it's our last day. How are you?
I'm doing great. And then we have OJ on. He can't wait to leave the Western Hemisphere and go where things are relatively stable. Hold on, wait a minute. No, that could be not the case now. But OJ, how are you doing today?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Always pleasure to join you guys.
Hey, man, always a great time. And then last but not least, we got Hawk Mining. I know he's ready for that new season of Cobra Kai coming out. I got to bring it up every time. Hawk Mining, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing, DZ? Thank you for
always a good time, man. You got the, was it Casta shirt right on, right?
Caspa, that's it.
Caspa,
Yep.
Caspa. Oh,
I sell the shirts on my shop.
Caspa communities come after me. You say Casta. Oh, how dare you. We're never going to let you forget that one. All right, let's talk about the Hong Kong ETFs. Hannah, if I could share a screen quick. Bitcoin and Ethereum rise as Hong Kong Bitcoin ETF applicants say they have been approved. The SFC is the Hong Kong's version of the SEC, but I got bad news. I'm going to read this real quick. Latest on the Hong Kong spot ETFs. This is from Eric Balchunas, senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg. They have been approved, but no launch yet. Rumor next week or so to not compete with the Dubai conference. But do not think you're going to see large funds flowing in. We're seeing estimates of 25 billion. We will be lucky to get 500 million. Why? Hong Kong ETF market is tiny, only about 50 billion. Chinese locals cannot buy these Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs, at least officially. The 3 issuers are small fries. They are no BlackRock, less liquidity, fees a lot higher than what you're seeing in the US. Takeaway, it's a great thing, but this is nickel and dimes compared to the mighty US market. They're making it feel like it's nothing to be excited about. Piano Matty B, they're saying this is just rice. This is just a throwaway here. Did you feel bullish? I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, even if it's a small thing, doesn't it still count as something good because maybe it's more normalized in institutional traders and investment managers?
Yeah, I think it is ultimately bullish, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Even though we're at the, let's close to the top of the market, I feel like we don't have the same repercussions from bullish news as we do in the throes of a deep bull run. You know what I mean? Like we're still, there's a Hong Kong ETF. Oh, great.
Well,
we're at all-time highs last week.
Did we get too high in the 30, 45 days after the ETF issue? So, I mean, it was a pretty quick blast off to around 70K. Did we get to 70K too fast and now we're feeling the pain?
Well, it's almost like a normal bull run is like everyone's on coke, right? So everyone's getting the same shot of drugs, but this one went so fast. It's like someone spiked it with fentanyl or meth or something, and we're just now nothing compares. We needed more. We need more gains, faster. It's not enough.
All right, OJ, you're nodding your head. Are we chasing the dragon? Do we get too high off our own supply to appreciate good news like the Hong Kong ETF? And what are your overall thoughts of this ETF news?
Yeah, I think you're quite right there. We did jump to 70K so quick, and we did an all-time high before the halving, which never happened before. So now we are already, we are too hyped, and we are needing, even bigger news. I think the Hong Kong ETFs are bullish. I'm not sure about how good it is to have even more institutional investments into Bitcoin. I mean, it's really not good for the small guys, but and for retail and stuff. But it's definitely bullish. It's just not as bullish as we've seen over the last couple of months. We've had so many events and things happening that pushed us to this all-time high above 70K, and it was so fast that of course we're feeling the pain right now, and it's something that we've been talking about a few times. We mentioned, I think even here we talked about the fact that I'm expecting a proper correction, deeper correction that we didn't see since the beginning of the year. We were going exponentially high. It was not parabolic, but it was exponential. It was quite strong push on the upside. So consolidating around this price, having a bit more of a dip is not surprising at all, and it's healthy for the market. We need to welcome that, and it's a good buy opportunity for those who are clever enough to be selling over the pumps and have some stable coins or cash or whatever. So I feel that this is going to continue as well. And despite the ETFs, I don't think it's true. They're not really the kind of American big market. So I don't expect us to go now to 80K over the next few weeks. I don't think it's going to happen. And usually after the halving, we see at least 4 to 8 weeks of delay before Bitcoin starts another proper run. So that's what I'm expecting again.
We're just in that good period, 4 to 6 weeks. Like you said, I think you said this is healthy in the long term. This is healthy. It's good. Coincidentally, that's also what they said about cocaine at Coca-Cola headquarters. But, we all know how that turned out, OJ. I'm sorry. That was just a big wraparound to lead you there. All right. Hawk mining. I want to ask you, because we're getting pretty bullish, but it looks like there's not going to be really that many fireworks when this does happen. Small ETF market, high fees, Chinese citizens that can't even officially buy it. So I have a question for you. If this goes, quote unquote, poorly, a few million trickle in, it doesn't really set off any alarm, it's not really breaking the market by any means. If it goes poorly and only millions roll in, will Bitcoin dump off that seemingly negative sentiment?
Well, I think anything in the news that anybody can spin to be negative will affect the market. But I think a lot of people are missing the whole thing here. Any adoption in Bitcoin is a great thing, right? And one thing that everybody should consider is like the Chinese have a lot of influence in their region. When another country does something, that means, the little countries, they seem to follow suit, right? Like we see that with ourselves in the United States. We released the Bitcoin ETF, then the UK is doing one, and a few countries in Europe want to do one. Like it starts to trickle over, right? So the Chinese have that kind of influence. So it's always a positive thing regardless, but there may be some like huge misunderstanding, which it would not surprise me. People on the internet misunderstand that the ETFs in China are going to be as big as the United States. So there may be like, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of action going on. I would expect it, but I don't think so. I think any adoption into Bitcoin is great. We should welcome it, whether it's 500 million, 500 billion, or $500.
All right. Unless Jim Cramer buys it. If he starts adopting Bitcoin heavily, we FUD him. We get him out of the market.
We sell.
That's when you open a short. All right. Well,
right, exactly.
Let's talk about a rare SAT. Got some rare things for sale, stranger. Resident Evil 4 for you guys there. Bitcoin halving has crypto miners racing for an epic SAT. Not an epic Saturday. Not like hanging out with your friends on the weekend. No, this one could potentially be worth millions. If I could read what we got going on here. An intense competition is underway to mine the first block after the halving, which is going to contain a rare and collectible fragment of a Bitcoin known as an epic SAT. I just want to go through what they consider the rarities here. Some are saying it could be worth a whole lot of money. So the creator of Ordinals has a rarity system. Common is like all the regular ones. Then you have uncommon, first SAT of each block, all the way up to mythic, which is the first SAT of the first ever block. That's Satoshi Nakamoto's. And then somewhere in there, we have the first SAT after a Bitcoin reward halving, start of a new epoch, and they classify this as epic. Some are saying it'd be worth $50 million. I feel like that's a little bit high now, everybody. Marathon, if they have about a 5% hash rate, meaning they have a 5% chance of actually mining this Bitcoin, So pretty interesting stat right there. 1 out of 20 chance. And so a lot of people are racing to unlock the rare sat. It's like catching a Mewtwo or something. Now, Piano Matty B, what are your thoughts on sats? Some sats are cool. Some sats are just, they're common. To you, do you distinguish between sats? Would you like to own a rare or epic sat?
I would, and I can see how they can be different. Someone was explaining it to me a few months ago how there are rare sats. I'm like, are they that rare really? Who's saying they're rare? You know what I mean? Who is the czar going, this is rare, this isn't? I get this guy's made up a scenario, but I feel like that 50 million tag is very bull run bullish delusional. I mean, if this was the bear market, I don't think they'd be putting a $50 million tag on it. It'd be more like a $500,000 for this rare sat.
OJ, what do you think of the $50 million price tag? That was from the founder of Ordiscan, Tristan. He's the one saying 50 million. What are your thoughts on that price estimate? And would we be paying anywhere near that when Bitcoin is trading at 16K, say a year and a half ago?
I don't know who's going to be paying that kind of price tag. I think this is, again, a lot of hype. And I know that there are some people who are crazy about collecting these kind of rare things. I mean, Originals is, quite a successful endeavor that they started and stuff. But for me, I'm not really into inscriptions. I'm not really into collecting, even with physical coins. There are coin collectors, and there's these rare editions that every government is issuing. I mean, when I was living in the UK, every year or at every Queen's Jubilee, they will issue these rare coins and stuff like that, and people will be buying them. There is definitely a market for that, but 50 million, come on. I think it's a bit blown out of proportion. Maybe a couple of million or something.
Okay, so
this is literally just sentimental value. It's absolutely only sentimental value. There is nothing else. There are no properties of that Satoshi that make it more valuable than any other Satoshi, because they are still fungible. But it's because it's the first, of the first block that was mined after the halving. There is that kind of sentimental value, but that's all there is.
So you don't collect collectibles? Is that not like a rare guitar behind you, like once strummed by Javier Milei or something?
I collect. I'm an artist. I issue my own NFTs as well. So I'm not against collectibles. I do collect stuff, but for me it's more about art rather than just any random collection.
Like a Charizard foil, then.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Hey, it looks cool to some people. All right, now Hawk Mining. We actually have you on. You're a miner. What are your thoughts on the rarity of sats? I mean, is it something cool? Do miners even care about this, or they just kind of look at it as like, I could sell this block for more?
I think it's kind of ridiculous. They're just trying to increase it's a tactic, right? In my opinion, this is a tactic. They're trying to say this
sales
could
by
sell
Marathon
for this, huh?
Is this like sales tactics by Marathon?
Yeah, 100%. They're saying, oh, this could go for 50 million. So in the chance that they mine it, they're going to say, okay, well, we won't sell it for 50. I'll give it to you for 25. And get out of here with that. The crypto mining community, we don't buy any of that. That's complete marketing and total BS. I don't know anybody that would even pay 250,000 for it. I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Mine the block, you hold it. Congratulations, you mined a Bitcoin block, move on. It's just a halving. It makes zero sense. I think it's complete BS.
All right. Bold takes right there. Now, what about the rarest of sats? Would you like to have locked in a ledger like one sat from the Genesis block?
No, I don't care about any of that.
I love it.
It doesn't mean anything because we're all in this. Look, if you want to be, nostalgic, or you want to like, hey, I got one of the original ones and it means that much to you. Hey, it's nothing wrong. Like what's his name just said, excuse me, I forgot his name. There's nothing wrong with having collectibles. Like if that's what you want to do. The majority of us in here are here to make money. And I don't think that, I'm a full supporter in Bitcoin. It doesn't matter to me.
Hawk, would you rather have an epic sat or Charizard foil?
Oh, Charizard.
Charizard. I grew
up playing
Are you going
Pokemon.
with the foil or the sat or foil? I think I'm going to go with the foil. OJ, sat or foil? What are you going with?
I'll go with the SAT.
All right. I mean, honestly, it's
Hey,
Just
worth
because
a
I
lot
can
cards
flip
more.
are
it.
worth a lot of money.
Just because I can flip it.
All right.
That's a
Piano Matty
generational thing.
B. Piano Matty B. You go with, I mean, you give it to your son or something. You going with Charizard foil? You're going with the Epic Sat.
I was hoping by the time you got around to me, I would have figured out what Char's art foil is. But I have no clue. Is that from some video game or something?
The Pokemon.
Close enough.
Pokemon.
Yeah. It's the like sought after foil card here. I'm pulling it up right now. This is what it looks like. If you ever find one like in a parking lot, which probably should never happen. Yeah, they go they have reprints, but like CGC 9 or PSA 9 in a box, I want to say is $10K. Let's see. I think there's only a handful. I said 10.
Jake Paul.
I don't know what it would sell for, but there's one for sale for $30,000.
Didn't Jake Paul have the one that sold for like $500,000?
Yeah, it was
crazy like
potentially fake. I think it was actually fake.
Where do you find these cards?
It was a version 1. So like in the 90s, they had original cards that came from like Japan, and those are the ones that are valued. I actually have the version 2 Charizard. It's probably worth a couple thousand.
Yeah, I have a very, very scratched, shadowed, not shadowless one. So, but yeah, not you can buy a dinged up reprint for a couple $100, $400. All right, let's talk about. All right, a lot of people waiting. This man said he was going to tell us the 6 best altcoins. It's the dang end of the show. He hasn't even mentioned one altcoin yet. Well, folks, that's what we're here for now. Only 6 altcoins in the top 50 have outperformed Bitcoin this year. Bitcoin has grown 54% since start of 2024. And in the top 50, only 6 coins have beat it. Let's read them. Number 1, Dogecoin. No surprise there. So Doge, Shib, Doge, Stacks. That's 3. BNB. I didn't realize BNB had outperformed Bitcoin. That one was pretty surprising. Mantle and Render. So those are the 6 coins. Shib, Doge, kind of leading the meme route there. Then you have some Bitcoin L2 stuff, and then you have something kind of piggybacking off the AI narrative right now. Looking at some of the numbers, so Bitcoin's 54%, Doge 77%. Hit that like button if you have some Doge, or maybe even if you market bought any. Aptos and Uniswap leading the losers. They're down 35% and 30%. Most everything has been growing, though. But Piano Matty B, Doge, Shib, Stacks, BNB, Mantle, Render. Of the top 6, what is Matty B's favorite, and what would you consider holding for the rest of 2024?
That's a tough one because I honestly don't have any of those. I was quite surprised that in my little moon bag that I've forgotten about that's underwater in the weeds, I thought maybe I'd have one of those, but I would probably go with Doge just because I think there's a slight chance that, the stars may align with Twitter and Elon Musk, and, the upside of Twitter really championing Doge. I don't know. That could be one of the big movers in this bull run if that happens. Outside of that, I don't know. I don't know if I'd take any of those. Just Doge.
All right, Matty, Rocky Roads is wondering, does the B stand for boomer?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. That was kind of funny. All right, Rocky Roads, I'm going to assume you did that with good intentions. All right, OJ, are you surprised that of the top 50, I mean, you got Bitcoin, so we won't consider that. 45 coins have bled against Bitcoin. Were you surprised that it was only 6, and a dubious 6, if I might even say so myself?
Yeah, I am actually surprised because, and this is because of the ETFs and the crazy accumulation that they did. As I said, again, we did have an unprecedented jump in Bitcoin prior to the halving. This was surprising as well. And this is also one of the reasons why Bitcoin is now outperforming many of the altcoins that would otherwise they would have outperformed Bitcoin. I mean, I'm surprised that Solana did not outperform Bitcoin because it did have quite a strong run. I'm surprised that, for instance, Cardano didn't do anything because I thought that their community is really strong. I'm not very interested in ADA, but the Cardano community is strong, so I'm surprised that it didn't perform better. I'm very surprised that Chainlink didn't perform better because from the beginning of the year, Chainlink is actually down, and towards the end of last year, Chainlink was a very strong performer. I'm surprised by MATTY that it's really dropping and it's failing to do anything substantial. So I'm surprised by quite a few projects here in the top 20. I'm also surprised by Ton. We should mention Ton is now in the top 10. And if we don't count stable coins, and it's 185% up since the beginning of this year. And it's now entered, the top. It was not there just a few months ago. It was not in the top 20 at all.
Yeah, no, I pulled up Chainlink just because I was like, wow, man, is he right? It's actually down. And sure enough, Chainlink is actually down for the year. Chainlink, what are you doing? You can see it just kind of started the year, January 1st, $15.53. If you had told me, yeah, Bitcoin, man, that thing's going to move. It's going to be touching 70K. You say, well, where's Chainlink going to be? I was like, $25, $30. Bitcoin goes up that far. That's what Chainlink's going to do, right? Well, I guess not. Here we have a couple questions. Got free Charizard on Game Box set free pack. Someone sold a PSA 9 Black Lotus in 07. That thing probably would have performed better than Bitcoin or Nvidia stock. Let's see here. Yeah, got some Doge, got some ETH, got some Render. Good show, Road Dog. We appreciate it. You're our Road Dog. And why don't you go ahead and ride that like button by clicking it. Don't do anything weird to your mouse. All right, now Hawk Mining. All right, sorry to take a hard left turn right before I throw to you here. Are you familiar with Ben Cowan?
I am not. No.
Ben Cowan, he's a little bit. He's a guy with a math degree. Talks about Bitcoin dominance all the time, and he has a theory. Right. It's I'm kind of simplifying it, but he says everything bleeds against Bitcoin in the long term. Here you can see almost 90% of the tokens bled against Bitcoin, meaning they lost sats compared to the flagship coin there. Is he right? Do you think on a long, I mean, you're in mining, so you're pretty familiar with proof of work coins, at least, in a larger ecosystem as a whole. Do you think essentially all coins bleed against Bitcoin in a long enough time scale?
A lot of people use Bitcoin as the indicator for the market, right? So I think long term, a lot of projects do link themselves to Bitcoin. A rising tide will raise all ships, but a lowering tide will lower them all as well. So yeah, I do think that a lot of projects tie themselves to Bitcoin for a lot of different reasons. It's an easy way to do that. A lot of projects that don't want to tie themselves to Bitcoin, I think, tend to struggle a little bit more, take a little bit longer to develop from a market standpoint.
Yeah. Now, of those 6 coins, Sheeb, Doge, Stacks, BNB, Mantle, Render, which would you most want to hold for the rest of 2024?
Hard question. I like Doge, I really do. But I'm a real world use case kind of guy when it comes into what I invest in. That's just me personally. Everybody can have fun with the shit coins and the meme coins. That's up to them. I think Render has the potential for the largest upside.
Okay.
I think Render will do well. It's already had significant price discovery, and they have a lot going on. A lot of Hollywood directors and people that are involved are using Render, and believe it or not, you can take your entire, if you have a large GPU farm that higher end cards, 4090 types, you can go and you can put in an application to join their platform, but it's on an invite or application based stuff. So they do support a decentralized cloud to a certain degree, which is great because that gives them a lot of hardware and people can get paid for it. So I think Render will do great. I see Render definitely getting high into the high double digits by the end of the year.
I got a thesis on that. It's largely agreeing with you. King Alexander in the chat saying buy Ondo. He's trying to give you guys some alpha there. I have a thesis on that, Hawk. I think only less than 5 AI companies in crypto will be able to do what they say they want to do out 100%. Of the 500. And the main reason is the cost to actually do something in AI. You must lose millions upon billions of dollars just before you could start to even serve your customers with any kind of anything. And so, I don't think many crypto companies have the war chest. Render has that war chest. I think ASI, after they combine forces, they'll have the war chest, and maybe 1 or 2 others. And I think that's it. I think everybody else is not going to have the funds to do what they want to do. So would you agree, disagree?
100%. And I'll tell you this, like when it comes to crypto projects, blockchain projects that are trying to do machine learning and cloud compute and all that other stuff. We're seeing on this side of the crypto mining sphere, we're seeing like an entire arms race with this, right? And I get a couple arguments on live streams and stuff, not arguments, debates, excuse me. People say, oh, well, they're just building a better mousetrap, building a better mousetrap. Well, here's the story. Nobody's caught the mouse yet. So everyone's trying to solve the problem of decentralized cloud compute. You know, Flux is working on it. You got Dynex working on it. You know, another company I just looked into called IO.net. You have Render is a part of it. Chlor AI is a part of it. You know, all these projects are starting to come out. Akash Network, which is not proof of work, by the way. Like, you have tons of these projects that are really trying to do this. It's an arms race, and you're going to see who's going to come out on top. It's Blu-ray versus HD DVD. It's like it's just the competition.
All right, I actually have a video of that better mousetrap. I pulled it up on the fly. Hit that like button if you like the breaking videos. This is the better mousetrap. You're seeing right there. What? Is that better? I don't know if that's better, folks. I don't know if that one's
weird.
I don't know. I think that mouse is just going to keep coming back for cheese there. All right, and last but not least, OJ, I didn't ask you, of the 6 coins, what are you going to hold on to? I can read them one more time. You got Doge, you got Sheeb, Stacks, BNB, Mantle, and Render.
Well, I'm holding BNB because I'm using Binance still. So it's not a big stash, but that's definitely
a good chain to use.
I'm still holding.
I will always say BSCs are it's actually a wonderful experience.
Even when the market drops, BNB doesn't really drop that much, which is kind of okay. But yeah, Render is a good one. I'm actually very bullish on Pendo, but it's not in your list. But that is my best performer over the last few months. So I mean, if I have to recommend one, that would be the one for the rest of this bull run.
All right. And I think it's a boring choice, but you know, I think a couple people made it here. Doge. I think Doge is a pretty good asymmetrical bet. 50 cents for this year doesn't seem that out of range. So I think you got some good multiples there. But folks, that is all we got time for. We appreciate you sticking around this long. Please hit that like button and follow the creators. We got links down below. We are going to have an episode tomorrow. We got Gary Cardone on. It's going to be a good one. We're going to chop it up, talk about some Bitcoin, maybe talk about his brother's mansion being sold in Bitcoin. And is the price crash going to change his house price? That's all we got. We'll see you folks tomorrow.